To begin this tale, it is necessary to step several years back in time. Two young girls walked side by side through a lively city square, their small hands occasionally brushing as they navigated the sea of people around them. The square was unusually crowded that day, filled with voices, laughter, and movement. When they noticed a dense cluster of people gathered at its center, curiosity naturally took hold. Believing the crowd to be assembled for some kind of celebration or public spectacle, the girls exchanged glances and decided to investigate. They pushed forward together, squeezing between unfamiliar bodies. The noise grew louder, the air heavier. At some point, a man, visibly irritated by the pressure of the crowd, shoved them aside without apology. The blonde girl cried out in frustration as she lost her balance. In the confusion, her hand slipped from her companion's grasp. The current of bodies carried her away, separating the two children in an instant. Panicked, the girl stumbled forward, calling out, until she suddenly collided with something solid near the front of the gathering. What lay before her was not a festival. Dark, feverish shouts echoed through the square as a woman was escorted onto an elevated wooden platform. The realization struck the girl like ice. This was an execution. The festive illusion shattered completely. The condemned woman commanded attention immediately. She was strikingly beautiful, with fiery red hair that burned vividly even beneath the gray sky. Her posture was proud and defiant, her chin lifted as though she refused to bow even before death. Yet beneath that strength flickered a trace of fear, brief, human, undeniable. Her sharp eyes swept over the crowd, lingering on each face as if committing them to memory. Then she spoke, hurling curses and venomous words toward the people who had gathered to witness her end. At that very moment, rain began to fall. Droplets struck the ground and the platform alike, quickly turning into a downpour. Instead of dampening the crowd's fervor, it only inflamed it further. Voices rose in a frenzy. They screamed that she was a murderer, a monster, a demon who deserved her fate. All of this unfolded before the eyes of a small girl who had been pushed nearly to the foot of the platform, so close that she could see every detail. Her legs trembled, her breath caught in her chest. Then something unexpected happened. Instead of glaring at the child with hatred or contempt, the red-haired woman looked down at her and smiled, just slightly. It was not a cruel smile, nor a mocking one. It was almost gentle. Her gaze locked onto the girls, intense and knowing, as though she were whispering a secret meant for no one else in the world. A sword was raised. The woman straightened, bracing herself. The girl remained frozen, unable to scream, unable to move, unable even to blink. The blade fell. When the woman's severed head was lifted and displayed like a trophy, the brutality of it shattered something inside the child. Her scream tore through the square, raw and desperate, echoing against the stone walls of San Marcos. That moment carved itself deep into her soul, a wound that time itself would not heal. 10 years passed. The terrified child grew into a beautiful young woman named Constance Grail. She had just turned 16. On the surface, she appeared to be celebrating her birthday at a modest gathering, surrounded by polite smiles and well wishes. A viscount approached her, offering his congratulations with practiced elegance. He remarked that the goddess of fate would surely bless her future engagement. His words were tied to the Grail family motto, sincerity. From childhood, every member of the family was taught that honesty was sacred. Because of this unwavering devotion to truth, many believed that Constance was destined for good fortune. Yet, as she listened, Constance could not help but feel a faint sense of doubt. She smiled politely, but skepticism lingered quietly in her heart. A few months later, that doubt deepened. Her father, a man renowned for his integrity but hopeless in matters of commerce, found himself buried beneath enormous debts. There was no escaping it. One evening, he sat with Constance and apologized again and again, his voice heavy with guilt. Calling her by her childhood nickname, Connie, he explained that the Bronson family had offered to settle everything. Their there was a condition. Constance would become engaged to their eldest son and heir, Neil Bronson. When she first met him, Neil introduced himself with courtesy and gentleness. He was polite, soft-spoken, and seemed sincere enough. As Constance considered her situation, she told herself that perhaps it would not be so terrible. She had no grand dreams or ambitions, and her family was modest by nature. Besides, her future fiancé was undeniably handsome, or at least she tried to convince herself that he was. Time passed, whispers began to reach her ears. Friends spoke quietly of Neil and Pamela. They said the two had been seen embracing when they believed no one was watching. Some claimed Neil looked genuinely in love with Pamela. Milyn, one of Constance's friends, relayed the rumors eagerly, while another, Kate, urged caution. Surely an engaged man would never behave so shamelessly. Milyn scoffed. Pamela, she insisted, changed partners as easily as one might change dance partners. She called her a woman without character. The words lingered in Constance's mind long after the conversation ended. She wanted to trust Neil. He had always treated her kindly, yet doubt gnawed at her heart. At a grand party some time later, the truth revealed itself. Seeking fresh air, Constance stepped into the gardens, and there she saw them. The rumors were real. Pamela noticed her almost immediately, her lips curving into a provocative smile. Without hesitation, she leaned in and kissed Neil openly, brazenly. Constance fled. She regretted ever stepping outside. She knew the engagement was not built on love, but necessity, a transaction to save her family. Still, the pain of betrayal cut deeply. Determined to remain faithful to her family's values, she resolved to confront the situation honestly. Distracted by her tears, she collided with someone near the mansion's entrance. The person before her was a stunningly beautiful woman, cloaked in mystery. For a moment, she simply stared. Recovering her manners, she asked if the woman was all right. The stranger replied that she found the situation amusing. She commented lightly on the party. Constance, introducing herself as Connie out of habit, invited her inside, saying she was welcome to enjoy the event. When the woman asked if she was certain, Connie replied that she saw no issue at all. Without hesitation, the stranger entered the hall, an unusual occurrence, as uninvited guests were rare. Confused but polite, Constance thanked her, then turned her thoughts back to the more pressing matter, Neil and Pamela. Inside the hall, a shy girl approached to congratulate her on the engagement. Constance recognized her vaguely as someone often seen beside Pamela. Her name was Brenda. Nervously, Brenda dropped a fork. Connie suggested she pick it up before someone got hurt. Pamela, watching from afar, noticed Brenda's anxiety. Trembling, Brenda lied, claiming she had forgotten her bag upstairs. She asked Constance to hold the fork and her small clutch while she retrieved it. Connie agreed without hesitation, unaware of the trap being set. A boy named Wayne observed the scene. Constance returned his smile kindly, though she noticed a strange pity in his eyes. She dismissed it. Suddenly, Pamela stormed forward, shouting. She was accompanied by Brenda and Neil. Loudly, she accused Constance of committing a terrible act. She claimed to know about the Grail family's financial struggles and announced that Constance had stolen a valuable ornament from Brenda. Suspicion spread instantly. Constance was stunned. Pamela accused her of feigning innocence, claiming the theft occurred while Brenda's hair was being fixed. Everyone knew how tempting such an object would be to someone in desperate need. Constance tried to explain, but voices demanded she open her bag. Overwhelmed and pressured by Neil's gaze, she froze. Pamela snatched her bag and revealed the ornament hidden inside. Her smile was cruel. Shock rippled through the room. Constance protested desperately, insisting Brenda had asked her to hold it. Pamela scoffed, questioning why a near stranger would be trusted with something so valuable. Connie begged Brenda to tell the truth. Brenda could not meet her eye.
Pamela pressed harder, accusing Constance of intimidation. She demanded the engagement be annulled, claiming the theft stained the Bronson name. Constance insisted it was a setup. Pamela laughed, pointing to the evidence in her bag. She invoked Viscount Hamworth's presence to legitimize the accusation. Pamela mocked Constance, declaring she had become nothing more than a common thief. Crushed by contempt, Constance searched for help. Wayne remained silent. She fell to her knees. Then a gentle voice whispered that everything would be fine. The mysterious woman stepped forward, offering help for a price. Constance recognized the voice from 10 years ago. A breeze swept through the hall. When Connie lifted her head, she laughed softly, asking who the real thief was. Pamela exploded in rage, confessing her jealousy and resentment. She admitted orchestrating the scandal. The possessed Connie exposed Pamela's affair. The crowd turned. Wayne finally spoke the truth. Others followed. Brenda broke down and confessed. Viscount Hamworth arrived. Constance demanded the engagement's annulment and threatened to report the indecency of the party. Pamela was silenced. Constance withdrew. Pamela was restrained. Punishment followed. Shame lingered for 10 years. That night, many believed they had witnessed the return of Scarlet Castile. The next morning, Constance awoke, only to find Scarlet standing before her. She screamed. Scarlet introduced herself plainly. She explained her execution, her false accusation, her downfall. She demanded payment. Constance had summoned her. The price was simple. Constance would help Scarlet take revenge on those who wronged her.